everyone, welcome back to another pick a pole reading. I'm the unobtrusive healer and it's lovely to be back doing a pick a pole reading. I have missed doing these. I feel like I haven't done a pick a pile or many pick a piles recently, and I really am trying to get back into them because I do miss them and they are the ones that I enjoy the most. So I really want to get back to the fun of things and get back to doing what I'm loving. So before we get into this topic and the pile selections that we have here, I just want to quickly mention a project that I have been working on. It is something that I've done before. This time it's back and it's better than ever, and it's my Raise Your Frequency workshop. So this is an online 7-day spiritual workshop. It teaches, supports, and heals those who join, and it also actually activates your own spiritual gifts. That can happen sort of over time, or it can happen quite quickly, but it is sort of like a bit of an activation workshop as well. There's a group healing session at the end, which you don't have to be available for. It's a distant healing that I do. There's also a personal tarot reading and specific guidance for each person in the group as you move forward from the workshop. So it's not just like, do the workshop, see you later. There's some stuff for you to know and work through moving forward as well. And there's a lot of other little special extras involved as well. And what's best about this workshop is that you don't actually need to be available at any set time for any set meetings or any lives or anything like that. There is a daily email with all of your stuff in it. And there's one task per day that will take you probably 30 minutes tops. But you can do it when it suits you and at the perfect time for you. So it's very flexible and it doesn't take up too much of your energy. It's just a really fabulous workshop to be involved in. I'm going to be announcing that over on Instagram. I'll I'll include my Instagram link in the description box below. I'm hoping to announce it this week, so keep your eyes peeled. And I'm going to run that one probably mid to end November. I'm still just finalizing the dates, but yeah, really looking forward to that one. I've done them in the past. The feedback has been amazing. I've had people come back to do, a couple of them or even 3 of them, and just, they always get a lot out of it, and it's just a wonderful little group to be a part of. But anyway, that's enough about that. Let's get into our reading topic for today. As you can see, we've got some Halloween theme going on here. It is just about Halloween, so happy Halloween to those of you that get involved in Halloween. I don't necessarily really get that involved, but just because of the time of the year it is, I thought that we would do a little bit of Halloween stuff. So I've got some black charms to choose from today. In this reading, we're going to be looking at the rest of the year. So we're going to break down love, life, and then like personal, spiritual journey for the rest of 2023. And we're going to get you some good predictions, some good advice, and hopefully leave you feeling pretty good about the rest of the year, or if not, at least feeling like you have some good guidance to help navigate through it. So as we can see, we've got the little black flower charm for group 1. We've got the little black cat charm for group 2, and we have the little black moon for group 3. If you need to pause the video while you tune into your intuition and fill out your pile, feel free to do so. The timestamps will be in the description box when you're ready for your reading, and I'll see you over there. Hi there, group 1. Welcome to your reading where we are looking at the rest of your 2023. We are breaking it down into love, life, and personal spiritual growth. So we do have an oracle card for each of those areas that is like a kind of like a summary, but then we're going to also pull some tarot cards and get a little bit deeper or a bit more specific about those each of those sections. So if you chose the flower, then you're definitely here with the right group. So tap in and let's get your reading started. So each of these cards, I have decided that I'm going to read each of the messages from the book, and then we're going to read the rest of the cards intuitively. But your card for love and relationships for the rest of 2023 is number 17, Heal. So this is kind of linked to the Star card in a more traditional tarot deck, but that is your card, and obviously it has a very healing message coming through, or a very healing sort of visual coming through. But we're going to read from the book why this is such a big theme for the rest of your year. So some of the key words associated with this card are forgive, offer, receive, serenity, hope, and inspiration. And it says, a peaceful, healing energy surrounds you right now. This is an ideal time to bring healing to your relationships and realize your hopes and dreams. This card could be presenting itself to ask you, isn't it time for forgiveness? Understand that no human being can ever be perfect, and by accepting this, you're in a position to forgive yourself and those with whom you're involved. Forgive freely and without reservations, as blame and resentment are heavy weights to bear. By forgiving, you'll feel a weight lifted from your shoulders and become enveloped by deep serenity. You'll also give the gift of serenity to the other person. Don't just offer forgiveness, also offer your love and thoughtful insight. Open non-judgmental dialogues with others, sharing what you've learned and how you've grown. By doing so, you'll be encouraging others to practice forgiveness. With hope for the future, relationships can blossom. Please know too that by forgiving yourself and embracing a hopeful spirit, you also invite new relationships into your life. At the same time, be willing to receive the blessings that others have to offer you. Be open to their insights and guidance. Listen objectively to what others have to say and act upon that guidance if it feels right for you. Be receptive to divine inspiration as well. It surrounds you at this time. Heal yourself, heal your relationships, and be at peace. An affirmation associated with this card is, I offer and accept healing in my relationships, and I am at peace. So the undertone for this message specifically is definitely sort of forgiveness. So this feels like the major theme for you for the rest of the year, because there could be friendships, family relationships, or if you're in a connection that's not going so great, or it's sort of like at a breaking point or something, then there's potential to bring healing into that relationship. It sort of depends where you're at. But in a section of love and relationships, it can mean any kind of love and any kind of relationship. So it's really I'm drawn most in that card to the forgiveness. So rather than like any of the other meanings, I really feel like the rest of the year for you is about forgiveness, not just of other people, but even maybe yourself or past versions of yourself and things like that. And forgiveness really sort of, it helps to open up your heart space. So it could be sort of setting you up for further ahead, like beyond the end of this year. It could be setting you up for something that's coming in, and just sort of like clearing out old energy and old hurts and old resentments so that you can sort of open up and receive what's coming in for you. The Star card, sort of the archetype of that card, can also be about like wish fulfillment and wishes coming true. So it could be sort of like setting you up for something really big that's about to come in for you, if you're a single. And then, like I said, if you're in a relationship, hopefully as we sort of get some more cards out, we can get more specific. But it could either be like time to let go and forgive and just go in a different direction, or just focus on healing yourself, or it could be about healing the connection and bringing harmony back into what you guys have. So we'll try to figure that out for you. Okay, so for group 1, for the rest of the year, can we get a little bit more specific on this love and relationships message and what the rest of the year has in store for group 1? Okay, so we have the wheel coming out first. So the wheel can represent very destined, very divine changes and transformations. It can represent like the wheels turning. So if things have been going in the wrong direction, it can sort of like swivel you back in the right direction. But basically it's also a card of like the wheels are turning in your favor. So regardless of like what direction this wheel starts to shift for you, it's very divinely orchestrated and it's definitely in your favor, especially because these cards come clearly out in the upright. I also do want to mention that the wheel is the number 10, so that can represent endings. So there could potentially be an ending between now and the end of the year. That is what's redirecting you and shifting you onto a more divinely guided path. So if you're in a relationship, it could represent like a relationship ending and a redirection. Or it could, if you're single, it could be, the ending could be like, if you've been limiting or restricting yourself, if you've been talking to yourself negatively, if you've had a pattern of self-sabotage, if you've had like a really long chapter of being by yourself, it's like something's ending. So it could be like your singlehood's ending or a chapter's ending. You could be like leaving one home and moving to another. Like there's some sort of like ending that brings change, but it's very, very positive. And regardless of how that change unfolds for you, it's very divinely guided and it's all in your favor. Okay, so we have the Ten of Swords, the Ten of Swords coming out to clearly clarify that ending message. So yeah, something's definitely ending. You know, whether it's a habit, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a limiting belief, whether it's fears or anxieties, you know, take it how it resonates, but there's definitely something ending. And it's redirecting you and putting you on track towards something better. I'm also picking up, for those of you in relationships, that if it's your relationships had like a really rough time, or it's been like quite a painful chapter, it could be that the painful chapter is ending, and the energies coming through are going to be more healing, and it's like all that pain can be like let go. So we had this one, and this one. Okay, so there is a message here that for those of you that are in a relationship and it's kind of gone cold, it feels like, or even if it's just like a connection that you've been in, like even if it's not a proper relationship, it could be like these 3 cards here together. It strongly looks to me like 2 people who, they're kind of like a little bit cold, guarded and defensive and emotionless. Like the Knight of Cups in reverse, for me, it's giving the message like so just take this as it resonates, of course. It's like the emotions aren't there, or the emotions have left the building. And yeah, it's like, it looks like there's going to be like a very clear conversation had about this. Like, it really looks like it's like, we can't ignore this any longer. We can't keep pretending everything's fine. We don't feel the same way about each other anymore, and maybe it's time to go in a different direction. Like, that's what the strongest message is coming through here. If you're in a relationship or in a connection, I feel like it is coming to an end, because that heartfelt connection's just not there. Like, the love's just not there either anymore, or it never was, maybe. But it feels like very honest conversations. It feels like one person may not handle it as maturely as the other. Like, one person might get a little bit heated and reactive, whereas one person's a little bit more sort of logical and balanced about the situation. But yeah, it just feels like a really honest conversation is being had, where you decide that like it's time to go your separate ways, essentially. And then if you're single, yeah, this could definitely be like, these are kind of like both representing yourself, and it feels like maybe self-dialogue can sometimes be a bit cold and lack like compassion and love for yourself. And it feels like maybe the way that you're talking and communicating to yourself is changing, and potentially your heart's going to open and you'll be a little bit softer with yourself, and that can really sort of like break the chains that have been on you in the past, and it can kind of like heal your outlook or your vision for the future and how you let the love in the future. I also feel like if you've been single for a while and your heart's been closed and you've just sort of like, you've just been closed off or guarded, like anytime anyone even approached you, maybe self-sabotage, or you would shut that shit down pretty quickly. It feels like maybe like that's ending and you're going to open up your heart, and that's what that new chapter is. And that's why it's so divinely guided, is because it's like something in you's healing and shifting, and you're deciding to like sort of lean more into that heart space and lead with an open heart and a truthful heart and like a softer heart as well. Yeah, so I think that's that's the message I'm seeing with love. I'm going to take a quick sip of tea. All right, so let's pack those up. So we're going to go into life. So this is going to be like whichever area of life is sort of highlighted between now and the rest of the year. So it could be anything. It could be like something to do with work. It could be something to do with the home or the family. It could still talk about love, but it's like what's like the main theme or the main, I don't know, focal point for the rest of the year. Or it could even be like a huge prediction, or like just some sort of like main event over the rest of the year. So your card is, okay, number 3, partnerships and alliances. So we'll read it from the book, and then we'll kind of go into that message a little bit deeper. But it feels like either one key partnership or alliance, or just partnerships and alliances in general is going to be a focal point. So whether it's like building, you know, new friendships, and when I say that, it's also like this card's about aligned friendships. So it's like finding your people, or finding a business partner, or just meeting the right people, you know, whatever the case. let's just read the message. So all right, partnerships and alliances. The meaning of this card denotes that you're now starting to see the fruits of your labor take seed and blossom. There may still be a lot to do, but watch out for synchronicities which could bring opportunities to form connections or unexpected alliances that may create something new. These could assist you in gathering resources for future projects. With all partnerships, always remember that there has to be an even exchange of energy. If you give too much, whereas your partner gives too little, it will leave you feeling energetically drained and cause potential disharmony in the union. There must be overall balance within the alliance in order for it to work and blend together for optimum results. This card reminds you that success comes in many forms, even from the most unlikely sources. Have an open mind when listening to others. All right, so we will clarify with some more cards, but this seems to sort of, it feels like there's going to be a new alliance or so either a new alliance will be formed before the end of the year or an existing alliance will be healed. So if you're resonating with the message about you're in a relationship or in a connection with someone and it's gone a little cold or stale, it feels like if you're both on board, healing is definitely available to you, and you have the opportunity to kind of like work together. But that's your advice, is saying there needs to be balance. So you can't give too much and they give too little, or vice versa. It really balance needs to be the focus, and you both need to be prioritizing what you need to prioritize in order to bring that balance in. But then if you're a single, or even if you're in a relationship, this could talk about some sort of new alliance that's forming for some sort of purpose, and it will also bring some kind of opportunity or potential. So let's clarify. I think I'll just go the same deck. Three is also a number of like creation. So it could even be like a creative partnership where you start working with someone or working on something with someone, like a creative project or a business project. Three is also about like fertility and birth. So that's not just like conception of, children, but like conception of ideas, birthing ideas. Okay, so for group one's remainder of 2023, can we clarify this partnerships and alliances card and go deeper into detail? What is the alliance or the partnership being highlighted? Okay. I don't know if we're taking these or not. I might just do it again. What is the partnership or alliance being highlighted in the rest of 2023 for group one? Oh, that went flying. Okay, so we have the King of Cups in the reverse position. Okay, so this, I feel like this is going to resonate with those of you in a connection or in a relationship, because this is kind of like looking like someone you're at odds with, or like not seeing eye to eye with, someone that's kind of like emotionally closed off. Seven of Pentacles and the... Okay, wow. Interesting. So there's kind of like a message here of no matter how hard things get, refusing to let go of or give up. With Seven of Pentacles and Death in reverse, it's feeling like a refusal to sort of like let go. With the King of Cups on the table in reverse, it's probably the king you want if you are hoping to like reconcile or to heal the connection, because the King of Cups is probably the only one in reverse that I would say maybe there's potential to like turn things around. But it kind of feels like this is almost giving me like a scorpionic energy of like once I'm here, like once I'm blocked or once I'm closed off, like I'm done. So I'm kind of torn with those messages. I feel like it's going to be different for everyone. Like some of you may vary slightly, where like you both really want it to work and you're both holding on and you're going to turn things around no matter what. But then others of you, I feel like it's kind of saying like it might be time to cut your losses and just stop trying to force the connection to work and prolonging the ending that is kind of inevitable. So you're going to have to use your discernment for those of you resonating with that message. Like it's like, you know, time to really reassess where you're investing your energy now, because it may be being wasted. Yeah. I'm going to pull some more cards though, because I understand that probably not everybody that chose this group is in a connection right now. So for those that, you know, aren't going through a relationship ending for the rest of the year, can we clarify the partnerships and alliances message for them? So we have Temperance. Okay, so that's kind of giving us that healing message again. We have the Tower. Temperance, Tower, and the Magician. So 3 major arcanas. So this is big. This almost feels to me like so Temperance is kind of like healing, healing, balance. Tower can sometimes mean like a surprise or something quite shocking. I'm not really picking up a negative or like scary interpretation with the Tower here. This almost feels like these 2 cards can also look like sort of manifesting and setting intentions and like combining spirituality and practicality to kind of like see your intentions come to fruition. And it almost looks like, boom, like out of nowhere, something that you've been wanting is like arriving before the end of the year. And maybe you're not expecting it, or you didn't think it would happen so quickly, but there's definitely something big. We could also look at this as 2 people sort of coming together unexpectedly, or meeting each other unexpectedly. And this would be like a Sagittarius placement, say Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, because we're talking about relationship. And Magician would be like a Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising. But yeah, it's like very quick, very unexpected. And it's definitely could be, so whether you're wanting a business associate, a partner, you know, a friend, like someone who you truly resonate with and get along with, whatever you've been wanting and you've been sort of setting intentions about, it's about to hit before the end of the year. A very, very special person's coming into your life. And I think that you're like spiritually connected for whatever reason, obviously being spiritually connected doesn't just have to mean love, but for whatever reason, you're spiritually connected. So there's a purpose for this coming through. Also, the Tower is about transformation and change. So it could be like as soon as you make that change, or as soon as you go through that ending, or as soon as whatever needs to transform in your life transforms, it's like, boom, here's your reward, you're ready. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. So that's your major life update, or like what's the main thing happening for you before the end of the year. So let's move into spiritual and personal growth. So you've got the card 16, expansion, educate your mind and senses. So we're going to read that one from the book as well. And I feel like, why is 16 ringing a bell? What's number 16? The Tower. Oh, so we've just seen 16 on the Tower, and then 16 here with expansion. So 16, 16. 1 and 6 also make 7, which is a very spiritual number as well, about expansion and, you know, raising consciousness and things like that. So look out. Oh, I've got the wrong book. Look out for, you know, 1616 or 777 to confirm this message. Okay, so this is going to be kind of your experience over the rest of the year. So expansion, learning through life experiences, educate your mind and senses. Expansion is an inevitable process of the universe. The knowledge of history, sciences, mathematics, and social understanding continue to grow through the foundation of new knowledge, awareness, and experience. Human beings and human consciousness also continue to evolve and expand. It is part of the evolutionary process. Clinging to old and past experiences restrict a person's ability to grow. Expanding yourself spiritually and emotionally allows you to feel a greater sense of love, compassion, and harmony. Self-realization follows these new levels of awareness as you build upon your previous knowledge and life experiences. Realize that you are always in a permanent state of learning. Learning about yourself physically and emotionally, how you interact with others, and what you like or dislike are all experiences that create expansion within your spirit. Most importantly, it is never too late to learn. You may have just left behind an old life, previously gone through separation or divorce, began a new job or career path, or started a family. It might seem confronting now, but don't be afraid to ask for help or advice about these matters. Support is available to you, just ask. Right now, you are in the process of learning. Career goals, education, and skills-based training are a focus now. This new information is needed for the next step of your life. You may be feeling that you aren't up to the task ahead. Don't fear. Everything you need will be available to you in divine timing. It may feel like you are on the edge of not knowing what to do next. All that means is that this is a new experience and you require more information for the journey ahead. Research your area of focus. A new level of study or education will benefit you now as you prepare and organize your future. So that's a really interesting message that's kind of like summarizing what we've seen. So this is kind of highlighting some career, education, and training and things like that. So this partnership or alliance could definitely relate to some sort of career expansion. So whether it's someone who can teach you, guide you, someone who you can team up with, it feels like there's going to be a very important person that's a key part of this expansion in some way. I also noticed how some of the messages in here said you may have even been through a separation or divorce, which we mentioned. Some of you may be separating or ending something. So previously gone through separation, maybe left a job, an old way of being, things like that. And then it says support is available to you. So I feel like there is someone that's going to be very supportive about that. But then also the part that I wanted to talk about was the family part, because I was talking about the number 3, about how it represents creation, birth, fertility, not just in children's sense, but in other senses too. And so maybe some of you have started a family, and that's where everything's a little bit out of balance. Maybe, you know, you and your partner don't have much time for each other, and that's why you're feeling very blocked. And maybe that's a bit of a message to say, like, it may be confronting at the moment, but there is someone you can turn to for support so that you can help to bring that balance back into your connection. So keep that in mind as well. But yeah, that's your spiritual personal growth message or journey message. I'll also get you some advice from my spirit animal cards. What's Group 1's advice for the rest of the year? What should they be prioritizing? How can they look after themselves? Those types of things. So we have the Snake, Kundalini rising. Channel your creative passion and sensuality and welcome the transformation. Yeah, so definitely like creative bursts, maybe bursts of like passion, maybe channeling your energy into a passion with someone else that kind of shares a vision or shares a hobby or shares a passion. But yeah, also just sort of like making sure that you're tuning into your creative side, the things you're passionate about as well. I wasn't going to read the animals from the book, but I feel like the snake needs to be read from the book for you guys for some reason. So let's see what that's about. There's obviously a message in here. God, I can't even find the snake. Where is it? Oh, there, 32. The number of change. The snake speaks of the energy rising within you and also of rebirth. The snake, oh my God. The snake sheds transformational layers of skin, being reborn as often as it needs. What does the snake call you to shed in order to go through a cycle of rebirth? Ask your heart, what do I need to let go of? There it is. Rebirth can challenge and push us through all layers, emotional, spiritual, and physical. But know that snake medicine holds you now through this change. To be held by the serpent is powerful magic. Its energy starts at the base and travels up your spine, weaving its way around, activating the divine masculine and feminine within it. It passes through your heart, then links to your third eye to bring cosmic remembering. You may have an Egyptian past to remember if you pull this card, or Kundalini rising or awakening to express. One thing is for sure, if the snake appears, he means business, action, and change. Okay, so I can see why we needed to do that. Is there any other ways that Group 1 can take care of themselves, or any other advice for them for the rest of the year? The Bat, listen up. You are working through deep soul patterns. Release any outdated beliefs that surface. So yeah, for some of you, you're releasing like patterns of self-sabotage or patterns of negative dialogue or being unkind or harsh to yourself, releasing limiting beliefs, anything that's not serving the best version of yourself. It's all being worked through and released. It's not just an internal thing. I think that there's like cosmic help and maybe help from your guides and ancestors as well. And it's an organic process. But yeah, just sort of pay attention. Really listen to the way you're talking to yourselves and be mindful about the way you're talking to yourselves and the feelings you're feeling and what's surfacing for you, just to really sort of help the process along. And then underneath the deck, we have the Cat. Have strength, faith, and conviction in your voice. It has never been more needed. So the cat's asking you to speak your truth, own your truth, realize your truth. I think that's kind of like part of the message in here as well, is like sort of realizing and owning your truth, saying what you need to say, facing what you need to face, and then really being vocal about it as well where you need to. So that's the end of your message, group 1. Thank you very much for watching. I hope that you stay safe and have a wonderful Halloween / rest of the year. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye. Hello group 2, welcome to your reading for the rest of 2023. You guys have chosen the little kitty if you're here with group 2, and we're going to get straight into your messages. So I already have an oracle card out for love and relationships, life, and then personal spiritual journey. We're going to read these 3 cards from the book, but then we're going to pull some tarot cards and do some intuitive messages to get a little bit more specific about these themes. I felt like I was going to say something else, but it's gone. All right, so let's just start. So for love and relationships, now don't forget that that can be any kind of love, any kind of relationship. But the theme that we have showing up for this area for the rest of the year is the number 4, just breathe. So we're going to have a read from the book. So keywords associated with this card are step back, reconnect, rest, and recharge. And the message here, it's on page 1, 2, 3. And then you've got card 4. Isn't that funny? So much time and effort can be expended in maintaining current relationships or in creating new ones that it's easy to forget to just stop and breathe once in a while. This card is not just about connecting with other people. The most important connections you can have are the ones with the divine and your higher self. This is a good time to take a break from your personal relationships and reconnect with your spiritual self. Set aside a few minutes every day to sit quietly and just be. In addition to caring for your spiritual self, look after your physical body. Get plenty of sleep, eat healthy foods, and exercise. Treat yourself to a movie or take a walk in nature. Step away from any cares around matters of the heart and just breathe. By taking time for yourself, you'll recharge your emotional batteries and have more energy to invest in your relationships. So a theme for you guys for the rest of the year is really just sort of needing time to yourself. So if you're single, it's about taking a break from dating. It's about putting your energy back in towards yourself instead of putting it towards finding connections outside yourself, and then also focusing on your connection to spirit. So spirit or your guides are highlighting that for the rest of the year, your most important connection should be the one to your higher self and your connection to spirit. Everything else can wait. You know, it's a very, very powerful time to focus on you for whatever reason, and it will benefit your relationships because it's going to benefit you so much. If you are in a relationship, I feel like this is about just communicating your need to have space or to spend time alone sometimes, and it doesn't necessarily mean that anything is wrong, but maybe you just need that time to recharge. Maybe you get a little bit burnt out, or maybe you lose yourself a little bit if you're spending all your time with one person, and maybe this is just about sort of like finding yourself again, or figuring out what makes you happy, or just putting yourself at the top of your to-do list in terms of like priorities. You should be number 1 for the rest of the year, and you should really tune into your needs. So every day, like I said, sit quietly, meditate, even if it's 10 minutes every day, to sort of just tune into your body and figure out what is it that I need right now, what is it that I can do for myself right now. So yeah, I'm not sure how much we're going to get in the tarot cards, because it's definitely all about you and your divine connection for the rest of the year, or it should be. divine connection meaning like your connection to the divine. I don't know, maybe some of you guys are going to have some like, you know, psychic gifts or just intuitive gifts sort of come online or start to expand or something. Sorry, I could hear something outside. All right, so let's get more messages for, okay. So we have the Page of Cups in reverse. So yeah, this is definitely like withdrawing from trying to find love. I feel like most of you, if you've chosen this group, you may be single, and this is like pulling back from trying to find love and maybe just sort of trying to find yourself. You know, sort of closing your heart or closing your energy when it comes to sort of giving it away or not giving it away so freely, and kind of turning it back towards yourself is a strong message that's coming through with that. It doesn't mean everybody in this group has to be single, but it's just like a predominant energy is coming through where it's like you're kind of not giving your energy away so freely and trying to channel it into yourself. Another message that's coming through with that is like maybe trying to find like hobbies or creative. A lot of reversals coming out here. Yeah, so this is definitely giving me this energy of like I said, not giving your energy away so freely, not trying to force connections, not trying to force things to happen if it's not time, not being foolish, not taking unnecessary risks, not just like, yeah, again, like with the Ace of Wands, it's like maybe even not just like, if some of you tend to rush into things or get sort of caught up too quickly, it's like pulling your energy back from all of that. And again, like putting it into you and just sort of surrendering to the universe for when it comes to like timing and the right person, is kind of just like letting go of all of that and just focusing on yourself. There is a message here for those that resonate. If it doesn't resonate with you, no need to take it. But maybe some of you were sort of giving your energy or your body away too freely as well. And maybe you're like starting to put more value on that sacredness in yourself, and like starting to sort of like, I don't know, just be more selective, or even like there's a message of like going celibate for a while, you know, like taking some time out from physical connection as well, and just really sort of tuning into yourself. When we do have that energy exchange, that physical exchange, especially like with women, because we are like the receiving energy, we can end up receiving and taking on the energy of the other person. So like if you're messing around with someone who doesn't know themselves, or they haven't faced their trauma, or they're like in survival mode, or they haven't faced their demons, or they've got a lot of demons, or whatever the case, then you're going to take on a lot of their energy, and it can like kind of mess with your own energy. And that's why it should be, we should be careful about who we're engaging with. But obviously I'm not here to tell anyone what to do, and I'm definitely not here to judge anybody, but that's just a message that's kind of coming through with this as well. So if that does resonate with you, I think clearing your energy, like a clearing, an energy clearing would probably be very helpful. If you're in a relationship, I would look at this message as, yeah, again, like sort of pulling back, maybe even putting things on pause, or just like accepting that there's going to be a period of sort of like inactivity in your relationship while you try to connect to what makes you happy, what brings you joy, what really lights you up, like what makes you feel passionate and excited about life. It feels like maybe you don't really know what those things are right now, and maybe you're trying to find some sort of like identity outside your relationship, and tune more into those things, like do some soul searching, that type of thing. That's definitely how I would see that resonating for you guys. And I think it would just, you know, having the courage to be very open and honest with your person, make sure that they're kept in the loop, that they're not left wondering or left guessing with anything. You know, making them feel secure enough to give you that space and that time to do that discovery. Maybe like it's going to be different for everyone. Maybe some of you want fully like to be alone for a little bit. Maybe some of you can keep continuing in a relationship, but you just carve out a couple of days a week to like do things by yourself or for yourself, or just away from your person, things like that. But that looks like kind of what's going on for the rest of 2023. Another message that I'm seeing here, sorry, before we move on, is that there's this need to have a lot more fun in your life. And yeah, again, like just a need to connect to what brings you joy and what really gets you excited and happy and joyful. And I think that bringing those energies in, like playfulness, joyfulness, happiness, excitedness, bringing all those energies in is going to get your energy moving as well. And I feel like that's also going to get rid of some stagnancy either in you or in your life or your situation. Yes, I think that's where I'm going to leave that part. All right, so now we're going into life. So this is just like whatever the universe is sort of predicting or seeing as like the main theme or the main focus sort of thing for the rest of the year. So it could relate to like work, it could relate to money, it could relate to relationships, it could relate to anything. So we'll just see what is sort of like the main storyline or the main thing for the rest of the year. So we have number 9, material harvest, and we're going to read it from the book. I'm going to take a quick drink first. So material harvest says, one of the laws of the universe is what you sow, you reap. This card states that this is your time to reap the harvest you've worked for and so rightly deserve. This last physical card denotes self-mastery, self-sufficiency, independence, security, and the art of enjoying what you've strived for. You've done the hard work, learned the lessons along the way, and used them to prosper in all areas of your life. The number 9 also means endings. Not that good fortune necessarily stops, but do honour yourself as you finish up or celebrate the completion of projects. This would be the perfect time to look ahead and use the wisdom you've gained to think about what else you want to achieve. Consider smart investments and ponder ideas that show profitable potential. Congratulations on your success, you've earned it. So I feel like this is more like by the time the year ends, you are going to be, at the completion of this little journey. And I feel like it's almost saying like, take this time because then you're going to be in like a much better place because of it. And all the hard work you do on yourself between now and the end of the year is going to pay off quite quickly. It's only a couple of months between now and then, so it's not like this is going to be, you know, a super long journey where like you're isolated or by yourself for like years to come. It's like, just do this little bit of soul searching and self-discovery, take the time you need, and it's going to pay off quicker than you expect, and probably in ways you're not expecting as well. There could also be something work related that is coming to an end, or like you're achieving something or completing something, or like say a promotion, pay rise or something like that. That can sometimes be associated with this card. But yeah, let's get some tarot cards and we'll try to get some more info. I'm just thinking. I think I'm going to use a different deck for this one than what I did with group 1. Okay, so getting a little bit deeper into this message for the rest of the year for group 2. What is the material harvest card all about? Another number 4, so you guys definitely have the number synchronicity 4 coming out, so any variation of 4, so whether it's 4, 44, 444, you may see that number a little bit to validate these messages, but that's views of the ego in reverse. We have the Queen of Roses also in reverse, which yeah, that makes sense. And the King of Forces in reverse. Under the deck is the Queen of Scrolls. All right, so this would definitely sort of describe, what I'm finding quite interesting is that the way that these cards, excuse me, the way that these cards are facing, I'll hold them up so you can see. It's like, even though they're in reverse, they're actually sort of looking in each other's direction. If they were upright, they would be looking away from each other. But what I find quite interesting about that is it's like, these cards in reverse would indicate like a separation or some distance being placed between two people. But then the way that they're facing each other, it almost feels like it's like temporary, or, you know, you both still only have eyes for each other. But it's like, there's just like, if you can look at it from a higher perspective, if you're both able to look at it from a higher perspective, I feel like there's a lot of sort of trust and grace given to one another for the purpose of this journey. I feel as though the Queen of Scrolls, I think, is definitely sort of the bottom of the deck card. I think that's kind of referring to the learning that, yeah, it feels like that's to do with the learning that will take place. I think that you're going to learn a lot, and I think that it's, and by the way, this just to make sure I'm getting everybody in the reading, if you're single and this is not a love interest, it could be like a family member, or it could be a friend or an associate of some kind. And it's just like, there could be it's like there could be, you could get distant or have a disagreement or separate temporarily, but with a higher perspective, I think there can be a lot of understanding and patience and grace given. The Queen of Scrolls, like I said, it's like there's a learning journey going on here, where you're going to be learning a lot between now and the rest of the year. And I feel like the Queen of Roses in reverse is really about like radical self-love, radical self-care, and like radical prioritizing of the self. Like I feel like that might represent you, and I feel like it's you like just doing what you need to do to focus on yourself and prioritize yourself. If we're talking business, this could be like a business separation, so like business associates separating, or you leaving a company to go somewhere else, and that could be what pays off. And because we have like the separation and then we have the Queen of Scrolls in the upright, it could be like that's the new contract, the new job, or whatever it is. But yeah, I do like, I don't know, I guess it depends on the nature of the relationship or the nature of the separation here, because it's kind of, the messages come through a little bit differently. Like if it's love, I think that like you're giving each other the space to do some self-discovery and soul searching, and give each other space to honor each other's personal journey, to learn a lot, and then to bring that wisdom back into the situation and integrate it and move forward. If it's business, it could be like a clash of opinions or a clash of perspectives, and maybe you need to take some time apart to do some reflection and question, are we moving in the right direction? Do we need to move in different directions? What do we need to do here that's going to benefit everybody involved, like in the best way? If it's a friendship, it could be something similar, like not seeing eye to eye, or clash of opinions, or just both needing space to focus on each other's journeys. But, you know, there's definitely room to sort of like come back together. It sort of feels temporary because, like I said, the placement of these cards, it's like, it just feels like it's going to resolve itself. I think that's all I'm picking up. Yeah, it's sort of, I don't know, like it feels like the common message that everybody could relate to is like you're stepping away from love and just trying to invest in yourself and your success and what makes you happy. Okay, so we're going to turn over your card for your personal / spiritual journey for the rest of the year. So this is the theme, 31, secret temptation, being led astray. So 3 and 1 also makes 4. So there's our third 4. We're going to read this from the book. Okay, so this card says, temptations can be everywhere, dependent upon your vices, And unfortunately, there will always be a temptation to the human psyche. We can learn from these vices as they teach us about our emotional triggers prior to our actions. Self-mastery is key. Risk-taking should be avoided now with careful consideration of any planning of events, career changes, or major decisions. A lack of willpower may influence your impulses. Be strict with your budgets as financial blowouts are significant now. Right now, the truth is yet to be revealed. Be cautious in lending any goods you wish to have returned as deception is around every corner. Be mindful of any agreements or contracts at this time and seek professional advice where appropriate. If you are in a relationship, you may feel that it is at risk of a third-party influence. Addictions such as gambling, drugs, sex, alcoholism, and even food are indicated through this card. Being tempted by devilish behavior is leading you down a bad path. This health card encourages you to regain control of your life, building willpower and determination using a step-by-step approach for support and encouragement. Ultimately, the temptation to be bad or let loose is having a negative effect on yourself and the people around you. If you are experiencing challenges with your personal habits at the moment, now is the time to develop structured and systematic coping strategies that you can lean on when you are tempted to be led astray. However, you are a conscious creator, so be accountable for your past and current choices and seek to change them in the present and in the future. All is not lost, but you must act as if you wish to improve your circumstances. Or you must act if you wish to improve your circumstances. Continuing to ignore the problem will only make this situation worse. Professional assistance is required now. Seek a suitable health practitioner associated with your specific challenges. Okay, well that's quite interesting. So I did feel like there was some sort of learning journey that was coming through that's going to pay off. So maybe part of your learning journey, for those that resonate, maybe you need a professional, and maybe you need to connect to God to help you with this and make God that professional or that presence in your life. And it could be that this is less about sort of finding yourself and more about facing something that is a problem. It could be anything that was mentioned on this card, or any other sort of habit that's not in your best interest or that's harming you in some way, or something that's, you know, damaging to you or your life in some way, whether it's spending, whether it's, like it said up here, gambling, drugs, sex, alcoholism, food. It's like something is leading you down a bad path and you seem to lack control over it. So maybe you're taking space away from connections, etc., to like focus on overcoming this particular thing. Yeah. But it definitely feels like there could be like a key thing that you're facing or that you're needing to face. Or it could even just be that like you need to be careful of this over the next couple of months and notice if things are getting out of control. And maybe it's like a warning to say like, be careful now so that you don't end up with any sort of addictions or with any bad habits or, you know, harming yourself or whatever the case may be for you. It's like, start to work on it now and don't let it become a problem if it's going to become a problem. So whether you already have a problem or you're at risk of being tempted to do something you shouldn't, or to, you know, start a habit or pick up an addiction, try to get on top of that before it gets to that point if you can. Otherwise, it feels like if you already have an issue there, then this is going to be a really good time to face it and get the assistance that you need, either through a professional or through your connection to Source or God or whatever you might call it. Also, 444 is like a number of like divine protection. So there's like very very divine help around you, a lot of support around you that you can't necessarily see, but it is there and you can receive it. Just open that connection to your team. We'll get a little bit of advice from the spirit animals. We're just going to read the little bits of advice that are on the card. I'm not going to go to the book, although that's what I told myself last time. And the first card that came out, my intuition was like, go to the book. And it was a very important message. So we'll just take it as it comes. But what's Group 2's advice between now and the end of the year? So we've got the Sloth, digital detox, recalibrate, reset, and recharge. Yeah, so literally like do a digital detox if you can, like take some time away from technology or social media or from people for that purpose of recalibrating, resetting, and recharging. So nature's really good for that. Meditation in nature, hug a tree. Yeah, do what you got to do to sort of ground and reset, recharge your energy. We have the honeybee, divine feminine. You are being called on to rise. So maybe something is going to bloom soon, or you're going to experience a shift soon, and like this little detox or this little reset is going to help those like activations, or help, you know, prepare you physically, mentally, spiritually for this little ascension, because this is sort of about like ascending in terms of your divine feminine energy. I think there's a message on the bee about like working, being of service, and like how can you, I think that's why a card isn't coming out, because I think I meant to go to the book for the bee, because I'm sure there's a message about like serving the collective, or like how can you be a part of the collective or something like that. 43. If you pull this card, you are asked to look at all the ways you let the light in, into yourself, your heart, your space. Shine a light on all you see. Sending healing light is powerful and can be done simply by holding the person or place you want to heal in pure light. There is a multitude of higher vibration light hitting the earth that you can welcome in. The great wave of light that comes to each from 2020 onwards brings strength, embodiment, alignment, and empowerment. Welcome its light and the grand central sun Helios to shine down on you today. So where did I get that message from? Or maybe it's sort of metaphorical. The honeybee moves from flower to flower, passing on its healing messages, a messenger of the plant world, leaving trails of light wherever it flies. They are so important in our ecosystems for much more than we understand in the physical earthly sense. The honeybee and relatives hold subtle vibrations by creating channels of energy for light to move through. They work closely with the elemental realms to bring the light onto our planet, and then they weave it through the webs around our land. So I think that's metaphorical of maybe there's something that you're here to do for the collective in that sense. Like maybe you're here to pass on healing messages, or to be a messenger of the universe, or to be a light bringer, and like sort of spread light among others. So if that feels like it resonates with you, then maybe this part of you could be being called on to rise, and it could be trying to be birthed and embodied through you now. Or like you may notice it trying to come out more over the rest of the year. Oh gosh. I'm just going to take the otter because I think everything else there was collateral damage. And it's the card about initiation. So be open through this transitional time. Yeah, so you're definitely going through a bit of an ascension for the rest of the year, learning a lot about yourself. It's going to be a transitional time in the sense that maybe where you're at now and what you want, it all may kind of change as you go through this little transition and get closer to your own heart and what you want out of life and what you find meaning from, etc., etc. So just be really open and try to flow with the current. Try not to resist it or fight against it. Just try to really kind of flow. And if you're in a relationship, a little message is coming through. You know how otters like hold hands when they sleep in the water, or like when they're like floating or whatever. I feel like that's a little like symbolic message to say, like, you know, your person will still be there holding your hand, even though you need space, like whether it's physically or energetically, like they're right there with you and they're going to give you that space to do what you need to do. And as you go through this sort of soul changing part of your journey. But that's it from me, Group 2. Thank you so much for watching. I hope it's been helpful. Stay safe and I look forward to connecting with you again soon. Bye. Hi Group 3, welcome to your reading for the rest of 2023. You guys have chosen our little moon and we'll get into your messages. So we've got an oracle card pulled already for the areas of love and relationships, life, whatever topic the universe is seeing as like the main thing for the rest of the year, and then personal spiritual growth. So we're going to read these ones from the book, but then we're going to pull some additional tarot cards and get some intuitive messages as well. But starting with love, life and relationships, for the rest of the year we have number 18, confront. So I'm going to just grab the book and we'll have a quick read and then we'll see how it ties in. Introspection. So the keywords associated with this card, first of all: fear, question, explore, courage, illusion, and clarity. Introspection and clarity are important at this time. Feelings that have lain dormant are now coming to the surface. They have been part of your subconscious for some time. They're referred to as your shadow self and represent all of your fears and delusions regarding matters of the heart. You may have concerns about examining these issues, but know that when an issue rises to the surface, it is ready to be faced and healed. Have the courage to acknowledge and confront these newly emerging feelings. Look at them from all sides and try to determine where they first came from. When and how were they planted in your subconscious? Question the validity of these feelings. Often they were based in your childhood imagination and are no more than illusions. They're not appropriate for your adult relationships, yet they persist. They're not based on reality, but they are powerful influences and can affect your relationships in major ways. They can even prevent a romantic relationship from manifesting. Have the courage to explore your beliefs and misconceptions about love. You may find that these emerging feelings are based not only on your limited perceptions, but also on what you actually saw or experienced as a child. Know that whatever your reality was then, it does not have to be your reality now. You are no longer that person. Examine these feelings and gain clarity on who you are and what is true for you regarding your relationships. So traditionally this would be linked to the moon card, which is very interesting because we have the moon charm as your pile selection. And I chose the charms first and then I did the shuffles just before each reading to get these cards out. And it didn't even click to me until I read this that it was the moon and we have the moon. So that's really cool. Interestingly enough, now I want to go to the charm because we have a little star inside this moon. And I actually think that that's almost like representing like healing the fears that are arising for you around this time. So I think that this is a really good time to release all of these fears that are arising. So like, it's kind of making me think of someone who, excuse me, you know, you've been hurt in the past, you've been single, you've been healing for a while, And then maybe you meet someone and then you start to develop feelings, and then this starts to trigger those fears and anxieties that you maybe forgot were there, or maybe you thought you were more healed than that, or whatever the case. And it's like they kind of get triggered because you're starting to develop feelings. But you could also be in a like long-standing relationship and just something from childhood is triggered, and you start to feel these fears and anxieties. Whatever the case, they're coming up for a reason, and I think that it's a really good time for you to confront them, face them, get to know where they're rooted, like when's the first time that this happened that I felt like this, and see what it's tied to. And then that can be the first step into letting those fears go, because once you have the awareness of where it's coming from, you can bring that awareness into play every time that feeling arises, and slowly it will start to sort of dissipate and fade away. But anyway, let's have a look at why the confront card is here, what exactly is happening. Alright, so what's going on for Group 3's love life and relationships for the rest of 2023? Okay, so we have the Ace of Pentacles, and then next to it we have the Two of Pentacles in reverse. So this very clearly to me is almost like an amazing opportunity being handed to you. And as we can see, this is the hand of spirit. It's coming out of the sky and it's presenting you this golden opportunity. And now you need to decide, okay, so I had one thought and then it got hijacked by another thought. So the first thing is like, you know, oh God, okay, slow down, hold on. All right, I feel like I must have like a couple of guides sort of giving me different messages, or like there's people speaking over each other or something. Okay, so let me break it down. So the first thing is, it's like the hand of God basically coming out and being like, here's this amazing opportunity, and you being like, okay, so what am I going to do with this? And maybe like going back and forth, or being like anxious or indecisive, or like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Or it could even be like the Two of Pentacles in that position is making me think of, okay, but like I'm juggling a lot here, so what am I going to let go of in order to take this opportunity and grow it? So potentially that's that fear. Maybe you need to let go of some fear, and maybe that's what's kind of taking up some space and preventing you from like fully letting it in. And this could be just sort of saying like, if you can let that go, you're going to like, it's a very promising opportunity this is. So this could be like you meet a new person and there's a lot of potential, and then either like insecurities or fears start to come into play because you're probably seeing that potential. And then now maybe it's like, okay, this belief or this fear is now not serving me and it's actually going to hinder this process, so it's time to let it go. Or some of you may be like indecisive about letting it in because you're scared of like a repeat of the past, or you get insecure or anxious because of your past. But I really think that this is a really amazing opportunity with a lot of potential, and I think that they want you to let it in and just face what you need to face in order to do so. Because the Ace of Pentacles is like something that comes with longevity and a lot of promise. It's very stable. It's, you know, very reliable and something that you can trust. So we have, excuse me, we have the Page of Pentacles coming in now. So yeah, there is definitely an opportunity to grow, to learn a lot about yourself, and then to also grow as an individual. I think that if you let that fear go, I think that you're very like, I think you'll find you're able to really open up to this opportunity and really invest and put your best foot forward and give it the best chance possible. The Page of Pentacles can also be like something new. So I don't know if you've like just met someone or if maybe you're about to meet someone. And it feels like this person really wants to, like if we're looking at this as the other person, it's like they're really intrigued by you. Like they want to know everything about you. They want to learn from you. Like they feel like you could be a great teacher as well. And they see you as someone of high value and someone that they really want to invest in. And I feel like, I feel like they feel like you guys could really like grow a lot together, but they could also grow a lot with you or because of you type thing. Oh wow, we have the Four of Wands. So I definitely like see a lot of long-term potential here. For those of you that already have someone in your life, I think that this is just about sort of like really surrendering and opening up to the process. There could be a commitment coming up. So if you're like not quite official, you could become official. If you're already official, there could be like an engagement or proposal or even like a milestone reach where either is an anniversary or you move in together or I don't know, pregnancies, births, marriages, things like that. There could be like an offer made. But yeah, it depends like what level you're at, but it's like you're going to go up a level or you're going to, the connection's going to ascend a level. It could also be talking about like, even though it's new, it's got the potential to go as far as like marriage and, you know, long-term connection, moving in together and all of that sort of stuff. But yeah, if it's more long-term than that, I'm kind of seeing like an ascension for the connection. Four of Wands is also like about celebrations. So, you know, celebrate it, be grateful for it. But yeah, don't let those fears or insecurities prevent you from letting it in and from, you know, taking that next step if that resonates. And definitely make sure that you, because the Two of Pentacles can sometimes be like having too much going on and maybe needing to like simplify a little bit to make sure that you've got time and space and energy for the connection as well, making sure that it can be a priority. But yeah, it looks really promising. I can't see any reasons here why you should be, you know, listening to those fears. They're definitely not valid. They're definitely rooted in the past. And yeah, as long as you're just like open, honest, and like loyal, I would say, I think that it's all going to be okay. And don't forget, like I said, if there's no one in your life at the moment, you could be meeting them before the end of the year. It could be a new person that's coming in, and you're being like prepped for it. So yeah, just FYI. But let's move on to life. So this is just like whatever the universe wants to talk about in terms of what is the biggest or most prominent event or situation or theme for the next couple of months. So, oh, we have the Four of Wands again, and we just finished on the Four of Wands. So this says foundation and achievements. So let's read it from the book first of all, before we get into the messages. Where is the book? Oh, excuse me. I forgot to bring a drink in. Silly me. All right, so we need purple borders. Okay. This card confirms that what you've been building is now firmly established with a strong and solid foundation. You deserve this, and it's your time. It's time for you to harvest the rewards for your efforts. What you sowed, you now can reap. Be open to receive, as you've worked hard and have given so much. Allow the universe to give a little back to you. For there has to be an even exchange of giving and receiving in order to prime the pump of gratitude and reinforce the law of attraction. Using the more traditional meaning in tarot, this card represents a period for celebration, peace, and prosperity. It may also imply a marriage or the buying of land or a new home. As you enjoy this time of relaxation that you so deserve, know that nothing remains stagnant and the winds of change are always at your door. So that's beautiful. It's almost like telling you, like, the hard work that you apply to face those fears and overcome them, it's really going to pay off, and you're going to experience so much like joy and reward in like your home life and your relationships. So yeah, it almost feels like we're kind of, I don't know, kind of getting this and this are kind of linked at the moment. So it'll be interesting to see what we get as we clarify. Okay, so what can we add to with the Foundation and Achievements card? What's going on before the end of the year? Can we clarify? Wow. So we've had the Lovers come and land on the star like this, and we've got the Four of Wands here, and although it's kind of upside down, this is the third time it's come out, so I'm inclined to take it that way. This is really interesting though, because this really looks like it's a very clear message that either you've just met or you're meeting someone who is going to have a really profound healing effect on you and completely change your perspective on love, and change your experience of love. So it almost feels like, you know, the pieces of you that were unhealed here, it's like this connection is exactly what you need to be able to heal those little insecurities and wounds, because this is like your person and they're going to make you feel safe and secure. And it's like, I don't know, there's just like, we have two soulmate cards here with the Lovers and the Four of Wands. It's like a very, very deep connection that's going to help you heal those final like parts of yourself that maybe weren't able to be healed until you met a person of this caliber. It's like a really nice and wholesome, and I don't know, I feel like it's almost making me a bit emotional, and that's why I'm finding it a little bit hard to talk. yeah, I don't know. It's just like a really, really nice energy that I'm feeling right now. And it's overwhelming because this is really someone that's going to like bring you so much peace and grounding and like just pour so much love into your wounds that like healing's inevitable. And whether you already know them or whether you're about to meet them, and whether you already know this about them or not, I feel like it's just going to be a very, very major storyline in the next couple of months as this year ends. It's really, really beautiful, and I'm really, really happy for you. There's definitely strong messages about like moving in together. So if some of you are already connected to this person, you may take the step of moving in together. But like I said, there's messages here of like becoming official, you know, committing, getting engaged, getting married, any type of milestone. And yeah, there's going to be a lot to celebrate in your personal life when it comes to like love. That's for sure. So that's really nice. Sorry that I could hardly speak because honestly, like the emotion in it was like quite overwhelming for me then. And I was just like trying to hold it all together. So let's go into your spiritual and personal growth journey. Excuse me. See, I got all choked up and now I'm finding it hard to talk. Okay, so your card's number 30, Sacred Divinity. There are 2 paths ahead. So we're going to read from the book as we've done for the last 2 groups. All right, so it says here, embracing your sacred divinity is honoring the divine feminine and masculine that resides within you. Every person shares both aspects of divinity. These are not stereotypical versions of what it means to be a male or female. The divine feminine incorporates aspects of unconditional love, compassion, and gentleness, but these are also qualities of the divine masculine. Having expanded our intelligence and consciousness, human beings are no longer critical survivalists. We have evolved and adapted as a collective group. With growing intelligence and awareness, human beings, regardless of gender, can achieve these divine qualities. Men are able to embrace these inner gentler qualities, and women outward qualities of strength. Connecting to our divine self is to align with the divinity of Source. Divine balance occurs when these dual aspects are in harmony within the body, resulting in a feeling of wholeness. Currently, distortion of the divine feminine and masculine has occurred within you. You may be feeling highly analytical or overly emotional. Now, that's probably why I was just getting really emotional as well. I think it literally says you may be feeling highly analytical or overly emotional, and I got this like wave of emotion in that section before, and I was literally finding it hard to talk. So I could have been picking up on a bit of your energy as well, and like the energy coming through with this message. Sorry about that. I'll continue. Now is the time to address this issue as you are weighed down with imbalanced energies. You may feel emotionally disconnected from either the masculine or feminine side. Right now, you are being asked to honor the sacred divinity that exists within you. Expressing the divine traits of creativity, expression, gentleness, confidence, and strength is what is required now. Feel the beauty and love that is uniquely you and honor it. Give yourself a special gift to remind you of this inner journey and how much you care about your divine self and well-being. Connecting and creating a strong sisterhood or brotherhood is fantastic, but you must remember you radiate with energetic duality. If you find yourself ignoring or judging this side of yourself, ask yourself what you are hiding. Identify these qualities without judgment and work on healing or balancing these aspects. So there could definitely be, if I relate this back to what we've had so far, it would be like maybe you're disconnected from your feminine energy of letting the love in and compassion and just being really open and giving with your love. That may be kind of shut down because of these fears. And then if you confront the fears and overcome the fears, that's what's going to help you kind of bring the feminine back into balance, because this is really about cultivating a healthy balance of those two energies that exist within you. And I think that will have a ripple effect. So I think this is all about bringing your own energies into harmony with one another, and then that's going to immediately reflect in the relationships around you as well. So yeah, very nice message. And we'll pull a few little advice cards from the spirit animals. And like I said to both the other groups, I don't intend to read from the guidebook, but then in both groups, one of the cards each have sent me to the guidebook for a specific purpose, but we'll just play it by ear. Okay, so what's group 3's important advice and guidance for the remainder of 2023? So we have the frog stepping into your power. Don't take a back seat in your story. It's time to step up. So that could definitely, oh, it was meant to be the otter. I put that back before because it came out with a couple of other cards, but obviously I was meant to take it. Again, relaying this back to what we've got here, this would be definitely about stepping into your power, not letting your fears write your story for you, but stepping up, facing them, and then like leaping over them to overcome them, like fully exceeding and stepping up, and yeah, not letting fear dictate which direction you're going in, or letting your fear write your story for you. It's like, no, I'm going to have faith. I'm going to heal these little fears, confront these insecurities, do what I got to do. I'm going to step up and I'm going to step into my power. We have the giraffe, the bigger picture. Take a step back and gather your thoughts and feelings. So yeah, don't, if you're in the thick of it and like you're really in your feels, you are feeling anxious, you are feeling insecure, you are worrying, and you're feeling fearful about anything, the giraffe is telling you, okay, take a step back, gather your thoughts and feelings, but there's a bigger picture here. Like, what is the bigger picture telling you? It's probably less about what's happening right in front of you and more about the bigger picture. And in this case, it's probably to do with like, rising above your fears to see where they're coming from and to see if they're valid, and separating yourself from your fears and tuning back into that intuition and coming from that place of inner knowing. And then we have the otter, initiations. Be open through this transitional time. So yeah, as you go through this transitional time, as you kind of go through this, I guess, like heart opening, or this little phase that you're going through, just be really open. Yeah, see, I feel like I want to read the otter. Otter. 68. The otter is deeply connected to the water and is thought of as a symbol of life. Water is a feminine, life-giving force, just as the otter is a symbol of creativity. Together, they represent fluidity and transition. The otter speaks to your inner child as she loves to play. If you feel stressed or down, ask the otter to bring her energy to you. Otters are high vibrational and curious beings. They are also fearless and can be called on for extra courage when you need it most. The otter is associated with initiations and transitions and marks big changes in life, new birth, new cycles of life, or saying goodbye to a loved one. Summon the otter and let her guide you through it. So that could be very helpful for you in terms of like uplifting your energy and giving you courage and giving you kind of like helping your curiosity and sort of zest for life, I guess, come back into play. But yeah, that's where I'm going to leave it, group 3. Thanks so much for watching. I hope it's been helpful for you today and you've enjoyed it. Yeah, I look forward to connecting with you again soon, but until then, stay safe. Bye.